video game New World Online. Maple has no prior experience with video games. Sally is unable to join Maple on her first explorations because she has to study. Not knowing better, Maple invests all her points into defense. She finds that it makes her character extremely slow, but is able to take high amounts of damage. Leveling up comes to her easily. She asks other players for tips. Realizing she wants better armor and shield, she asks Chrome for help. He directs her to Iz, who is a smith. Iz and Kuromo advise Maple to get coins by exploring dungeons. They underestimate Maple's lack of knowledge, as she takes their advice literally, and explores a poison dragon's dungeon alone. She is the first to defeat the dragon and unlocks unique armor and shield as well as new capabilities that make her a poison-resistant tank. Maple decides to take part in a battle royale event, managing to easily defeat everyone who comes to attack her and winning third place. The next day, Risa joins the game as Sally, a swashbuckler specializing in evasion, and the two go to a cave to fish for materials for a new shield. After Sally finds an underwater cave behind a locked door, the two begin visiting the cave each day to allow Sally to explore the cave and improve her underwater skills, allowing her to defeat the boss and earn her own set of equipment. While at a cafe, Maple and Sally hear about the next event from players Dread and Drag, who tell them about a quest in the forest. Finding a basement in an abandoned house, the girls find a man tied up in a chair and heal him to the afterlife, earning a super speed skill. The next day, Maple and Sally head to level 2 to face off against a deer boss, which Sally manages to defeat after Maple gets knocked out. Afterwards, Maple receives the snow-white shield she ordered from Iz before Sally area takes her to a special area where they have a star-filled meal together. The second event, a party-based treasure hunt, soon begins. As the event begins, Maple and Sally discover a hidden dungeon complete with its own boss, allowing them to earn their first few medals. Heading to the mountains next, the two comes across Kuromo's party, letting them go ahead through a warp. Going in after them, Maple and Sally face off against a powerful ice bird boss Silverwing, whose overly powerful moves start to overpower Maple's defenses. Pushing their skills to their limits, Maple and Sally eventually manage to defeat Silverwing with minimal health remaining. Along with more medals and crafting materials, the girls find a pair of monster eggs that eventually hatch into turtle and fox companions, which they name Syrup and Oboro respectively. Later, the girls reach a desert oasis, where they are challenged by Kasumi the swordswoman. Sally clashes with Kasumi, they fall in a sand vortex to a cave, and are now bound by indestructible chain due to which all will die if anyone dies. This calls for a temporary truce between Team Maple and Kasumi. The cave is filled with slug-looking creatures that cannot be defeated. Sally and Kasumi use super acceleration to reach the cave's end where they find the exit high. Kasumi tells Sally to use jump, but Sally warns that she might not be able to make it to that height. Sally jumps and Kasumi uses her skill Arc Moon to escape. The three split the treasure and make friends. Maple and Sally collect many coins. Sally finds Maple playing with Kanade. Kanade tells them that as she is weak they need no fear her attacking them. Kanade shows them her cube, but does not reveal its abilities. She guides them to a spot where there is a dry fountain among ruins. Maple suggests filling the fountains. Sally uses Ocean and Maple uses Poison Dragon to fill fountain, after which they find themselves underwater in a ruined stage. An octopus-like monster appears with regeneration abilities. Maple uses Poison Dragon to poison water and effortlessly slay the monster. The game developers choose to ignore Maple as she is more of the last boss than the last boss they made. Afterwards, Sally tells Maple to hide in a cave while she goes for collecting the remaining 2 medals. Sally kills a sibling pair effortlessly with her amazing speed and later slays. She is comparable to Monster, a whole party, while Maple raises levels of Syrup and Oboro by making them defeat low-leveled monsters. Sally returns with remaining 2 medals. They are found by Kasumi, who is also hiding there. Maple closes off the entrance to cave with Poison Dragon. After the event ends, Maple trades medals for skills Psychokinesis and Acid Rain while Syrup learns Supersize. Episode ends with Maple making Syrup float and annihilates a group of monsters with Acid Rain. Managing to earn enough to purchase a guild house, Maple and Sally find a treehouse in the forest and form a new guild named Maple Tree, recruiting Kasumi, Kanade, Kuromo, and Iz as their first members. Needing more members for an upcoming guild event, Maple recruits 2 beginner players, Yui and Mei, who both maxed out their strength stats. Maple assists in leveling up the new members, Yui and Mei. Afterwards, Sally trained them to avoid attacks, agility being their weakness. Chrome gets a new armor set, while Kanade also got a new skill called Spell Stash. Maple discovered a chain quest where she must rescue a girl. The completion reward is a new skill called Loving Sacrifice, which allowed her party members to be protected by cover, while Maple takes the hit onto herself. This skill also changed her appearance. Payne's guild also starts to take notice of Maple and her guild, as the guild takes part in the third event, in which they must obtain bells from cow enemies. Maple encounters a boss in the church she visited before. Gaining new skills that let her transform into a giant monster, Maple leads her guild into level 3. After hearing about the area's machine lord from an NPC, Maple gets lost and winds up in the Graveyard of Dreams, where she encounters yet another boss. Before the boss goes berserk, it gives Maple the machine god skill, allowing her to defeat it. In the run-up to the guild event, Sally notices Frederica of the Order of the Holy Sword Guild scouting them and challenges her to a duel. After Sally manages to evade all of her magic attacks, Frederica surrenders and tells her about the Flame Emperor's Guild, unaware that the skills Sally used against her were fake. The guild competition soon begins, which each guild tasked with stealing orbs from other guilds while defending their own. Sally uses her stealth and cunning to gain a few orbs, having a brief brush-in with the Holy Sword's Dread before managing to steal an orb from the Flame Emperors. With several orbs under their control, Maple Tree takes advantage of Maple's defense to guard their base. Sally and Kanade go hunting for more orbs while Chrome and the others prepare an ambush on any attackers, leaving Maple with Mai and Yui to defend the base. Sally soon finds herself surrounded by Frederica's forces, prompting Maple to leave the base to come to her aid, and allowing Dread of the Holy Order to attack the base. Although Dread manages to deal Mai and Yui their first defeat, Maple manages to stop him before he steals any orbs. As Sally recuperates, Maple, Mai, and Yui launch an attack on the Flame Emperors, breaking through all of their traps, before eventually coming up against me, Marcus, and Misery. The fourth event continues at Maple and the twins, Mai and Yui, engage in battle with the Flame Emperor's Guild. Me, Marx, and Misery fight hard to separate Maple from the twins. To overcome the situation, Maple sends the twins out of reach with Syrup and fights alone. After being knocked around for a while with magic and defense penetration skills, the battle turns south. Maple gets locked in a cage of physical flames. To overcome the situation, Maple unleashes Machine God. The once close battle becomes a one-sided slaughter. Although he was able to survive, her desire to avenge Marcus and Misery led to the use of a self-destruct spell that Maple brushed off as a passing breeze. Elsewhere, we see the other members of Maple Tree working hard to collect orbs. Shortly after, the guild returns to their base and plans for a rest before hiding away. The Order of the Holy Sword has other plans, however, and begins an assault of Maple Tree with the intention of slaying Maple. Payne is supported by Frederica, Dread, Drag and defeats Maple, or that's what you would believe, as Maple knows unyielding guardian.